Good afternoon, Kev from Leeds Harmonica here. What I'm going to do this afternoon is I'm going to demonstrate some of the essential techniques that you can use to get a really good, authentic, fat, chunky blues sound. I'm going to do this in two parts. This first one's going to be tongue blocking techniques, and then I'll come and do another video on techniques that you can use whether you're tongue blocking or not. It's not really teaching. I'm going to whiz through this super quickly. I'm going to describe what's going on. If you want to learn, then I really recommend you get a good teacher, one that you really respond to and gel with. Obviously, I can do it for you if you want via Skype or if you're in Leeds. But the important thing is working with the teacher is the best way to progress. Anyway, without rabbiting on too much more, let's get into it. Okay, so the first technique is a slap. Here's a 4-draw. Here's a 4-draw with a slap. So what we're looking for is that little burst of a chord before the note we want to play. This is a very powerful technique. I use it constantly. I need to have a reason not to use it. It's just the default way of attacking a note if you're playing a Chicago style blues, really. It really fills out the sound, gives you a nice level of chunkiness. It's a great fat articulation at the start of your note, so it sounds really big and powerful. And all we're doing is starting off with our tongue off the harmonica, then dropping it into place where you would normally put it over the 3 or 4 holes to the 3 holes to the left of your mouth, leaving the hole you want to play open. So it takes a bit of practice to get that up to speed, but it's really powerful. You can do little short ones or really long ones. Wonderful technique. Use it constantly. What I'm going to do now is run through a chorus of a blues. I'm going to improvise with lots of slaps. Try not to use too many other techniques so that you can really hear the slaps come through. So here we go. Okay, so the next technique is octaves. We're going to cover 4 holes as we usually do with our mouth. Instead of blocking the 3 to the left, this time we are going to drop down our tongue on the harmonica so that the middle 2 holes are blocked and the air can go through the holes on the outside. So if I do that on a 1/4 blow, that's how that sounds. You can do that if you move up 1 hole at a time, keep doing the octave. You can do octaves all the way up the blow side. On the draw side, 1/4, also a nice chunky octave. 2/5. We call that a split, not an octave. Because we're actually playing the root note and the flat 7th at the same time, which is a fantastic bluesy sound, really useful. And you can hear just how the difference between a single note and an octave, if I go back to that 1 blow, that's just 1 blow, 1 blow with the octave. It's a much fatter, much bigger sound. 6/3 is also a kind of off-key split, but it can be used sometimes. When you get up to the high end on the draw side, you've actually got 5-hole octaves rather than 4-hole ones, so you need to learn to cover the middle 3 holes in that case. Which is, again, sounds fantastic. But it does take a little bit of time to dial in. So I am going to do chorus of a blues with octaves and splits primarily. Let's see how this works out. Okay, so this next technique is called the pull. This is a very powerful rhythmic effect. It's a great way of articulating a chord as well. This is how it sounds. That's 4 draw. So what I'm doing is I'm playing a single note, and then I am moving my tongue so that it covers all of the holes that my mouth are covering, so that no air can go through the harmonica. And then if you quickly pluck your tongue off the comb, you don't even need to breathe in or out, hardly at all, because the suction of the tongue flopping off, or not flopping off, plucking really quickly off the comb should agitate those reeds a bit, and you'll get that pull sound. When you begin, your pulls are probably going to sound really, really loud. The idea is probably to get them a little bit quieter. A lot quieter than your single note. So this is a great rhythmic technique. So once you start putting pulls in, it can become really difficult to not play them, and you need to sort of dial them back sometimes. You can overdo it a little bit. But they sound fantastic, works on blow or draw notes. It's a good way to just articulate a chord if you just want to play a quick blow or draw chord. It's unusual to get your head around starting with the fact that there is no air passing through the harmonica and you're blocking all those holes. But once you get it down, very powerful. Let's go back to our jam track and I'll try and play a chorus with pulls. Okay, the last technique we're going to look at for now is called the flutter or flutter tongue. Here's how it sounds. So we've got that that's 4 draw I'm playing there, and that's ringing all the time. I'm just inhaling, and as I'm doing that, I'm lifting my tongue on and off the harmonica, on and off holes 1, 2, and 3, rhythmically or rapidly. So that 4 draw is always sounding, but we've got this little chord bobbing in and out as you take your tongue on and off the comb of the harmonica, and this is a massive sound. This, I mean, you can do it with octaves. Pull in the middle of the octave there. It sounds absolutely... One of the classic killer blues sounds is the flutter on the 5 draw. So if you play a 5 draw, you know, as you're playing the 5 draw, if you're normally tongue blocking, you've got your tongue blocking the 3 holes, 2, 3 and 4. If you rapidly take your tongue on and off there, leave the 5 hole free so it sounds all the time, you get this incredible sound where you've got that single note ringing and this fluttering of that chord coming in and out. Which is just cracking. Okay, I'm going to go and play a chorus here, and we'll see if I can get that into a little bit of improv. Okay, that was a really quick run through some tongue blocking techniques. The more of these things you can stick in your playing, the more textured, the more vibrant, the more chunky, the more fat, the more bluesy in a classic Chicago blues kind of style your playing is going to be. I think these tongue blocking techniques really open the door to that really chunky blues sound. And by the way, I'm doing all this acoustically, obviously, but through a decent mic and amplifier. Some of these things really make that amp crunch, and you get that classic Chicago blues sound. Okay, like I say, part 2's coming up shortly, and that will involve techniques that you don't need to tongue block for. But I hope this has been useful or educational, or might have broadened your mind a little bit. Find a teacher if you want to get shown this stuff properly, and enjoy playing. I hope you watch the next video, and I'll see you soon.